Welcome to Story Recapped. Today I'll explain a post-apocalyptic drama film titled The Road. The story unfolds in a bleak world devastated by a mysterious, cataclysmic event that has wiped out most animals, crops, and vegetation. With civilization in ruins, survivors face brutal conditions, and many have resorted to horrifying means, including cannibalism, to stay alive. Amid this chaos, a man and his young son, whose names remain unknown, embark on a desperate journey through desolate landscapes in search of food, safety, and hope. As the pair traverse empty roads and decaying cities, the man reflects on the devastating aftermath of the catastrophe. When the disaster struck, clocks stopped at exactly 1:17, followed by a blinding flash of light and mild earthquakes that marked the end of the world as they knew it. The man, having lost track of time, estimates it's now October. He grimly notes that the remaining trees will soon collapse, symbolizing the slow death of nature. Refugees roam the roads with makeshift carts, while armed gangs hunt for food, fuel, and victims, making survival increasingly dangerous. The man recalls the early days after the disaster, marked by wildfires and the haunting sounds of deranged chanting. Cannibalism became rampant, and this horrifying reality looms as one of his greatest fears. To maintain his son's fragile hope, the man tells him uplifting stories of courage and justice, contrasting the grim world around them. At an abandoned farm, the boy discovers hanged corpses, prompting the man to explain that these were people who had taken their own lives, rather than endure further suffering. In one poignant moment, the man shows his son a revolver loaded with 2 bullets, explicitly meant for them in case they face capture by cannibals. Demonstrating its use, he tries to prepare the boy for an unthinkable scenario. A flashback reveals the man's wife's despair during her pregnancy. Despite her fears that their child would suffer in such a brutal world, the man urged her to give birth, offering a sliver of hope amidst the desolation. Later, while resting in their makeshift camp, the man and boy are startled by approaching gang members. They flee into the woods but are discovered by a gang member relieving himself nearby. The man threatens him with the revolver, but the situation escalates when the gang member seizes the boy. Acting quickly, the man shoots him in the head and escapes with his unconscious son. Returning to the scene the next day, the man finds the gang member's mutilated remains, a grim reminder of the savagery surrounding them. In another flashback, the wife debates with the man about their dwindling options, lamenting their limited ammunition. She regrets not ending her life earlier when they had more bullets and argues that their son might be better off dead than falling into the hands of cannibals. Despite the man's attempts to console her, she leaves their family, unable to bear the relentless struggle for survival. As the journey continues, the man advises the boy to avoid dangerous individuals and reassures him that they are still among the good guys. While scavenging an abandoned house, they discover a cellar filled with starving, mutilated captives begging for help. Horrified, they flee but are nearly caught by the house's occupants. In a tense moment, the man points his gun at the boy's head, ready to spare him from capture, but they manage to escape through a window when a distraction arises. After narrowly escaping danger, the man and boy find a hidden bunker stocked with food and supplies. For a brief time, they experience comfort and security, enjoying meals and rest. However, strange noises force them to leave, as the man fears the bunker will soon be discovered. They continue south, encountering an older man named Ely. Despite the man's initial reluctance, the boy shares food with him. Ely speaks of the apocalypse with a grim fatalism, claiming he had long foreseen such a disaster but found himself powerless to prevent it. As they press on, the pair witness a brutal scene, a woman and child pursued by cannibals. Despite the boy's pleas to help, the man pulls him away, prioritizing their safety. An earthquake shakes the ground as they flee, toppling trees and nearly crushing them. The man's health deteriorates further, but they finally reach the coast, only to find it polluted and lifeless. Hoping to find supplies, the man swims to a nearby shipwreck, leaving the boy behind. While he is gone, a thief steals their belongings. Furious, the man chases the thief and retrieves their items, leaving the man stripped of clothes and food. The boy's compassion prompts them to leave supplies for the thief later, showcasing the stark contrast between the man's survivalist instincts and the boy's innate kindness. As they move on, the man is injured during an ambush, using a flare gun to defend himself. His condition worsens, and he realizes he won't survive much longer. He teaches the boy vital survival skills, urging him to carry their shared hope to fire and to find the good guys. After the man's death, the boy grieves but continues south. Along the way, he meets a stranger who claims to be a good man traveling with his family. Though hesitant at first, the boy's questions reassure him that the stranger means no harm. Seeing the stranger's wife, children, and dog, the boy finds a new sense of hope and agrees to join them. The story concludes with the boy embarking on a new journey with the stranger's family, holding on to his father's lessons and the belief that he is carrying the fire, the enduring hope for humanity's survival in a world devoid of light.